For the love of the game. What's your view of the game? What's your view? Right.
This Sierra Leone tour is brought to you by FC Johansen and all our wonderful sponsors. Now come on, let's get into this video.
AFTV still over in Sierra Leone, having a whale of a time. I'll tell you what, right? This country is absolutely magnificent. It was brilliant today. Incredible. Make sure you check out all of the vlogs and the content we've got coming out for Sierra Leone. But we've just been watching the game, Tottenham versus Manchester United.
Horrendous.
What?
Goalkeeper. If you want to see goal, I've never seen goalkeepers.
Goalkeeping errors, defensive errors. I mean, two what look like mid teams playing. Honestly, like. I mean, lots of entertainment, lots of goals, but really shocking goalkeeping in that game.
I wanted penalties.
Yeah. But listen, how it's turned out is that Tottenham are through, of course, and now we know what the draw is going to be. The 4 teams that qualified, of course, were Arsenal. We beat Crystal Palace. Newcastle were through. We know that Tottenham are through because they've won tonight, and Liverpool, they beat Southampton. The draw has been made for Arsenal. Arsenal are going to be playing Newcastle. Yes, another long trip up to Newcastle, but it is over 2 legs. The first leg is going to be taking place at the Emirates. That will take place week commencing the 6th of January. The second leg taking place on week commencing, am I right? The 3rd of February,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
So what that does is it adds to the fixture congestion that Arsenal are going to have during January. Lots of games, busy period, transfer windows open.
This is why it's quick you just cut in as well. The Champions League, us getting in that top 8. I'm sorry, that is definitely vital as well, because that will just load up more and more games.
You got Champions League games in that month as well.
Yeah.
You got 2 Champions League games in that month. It's going to be
in January,
it's going to be a really, really busy month for Arsenal. So week commencing the 3rd of January when we play Newcastle. Let's just the 6th of January when we play. Let me just talk about the games that we got in and around that. Saturday the 4th of January we play Brighton away, right? So we've got to go away to Brighton. That game's been already set 5:30 kickoff, and then that game will take place during that week. All right. So during that week, that game will take place. And then on the weekend, I tend to think that game could happen on the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then during that same week, or should I say at the end of that week, we take on Manchester United at the Emirates in the FA Cup. What do you think of that? I mean, and then following that, the next Wednesday after that, we got Tottenham in the Premier League. So some big games.
Big games, but obviously when I was watching the draw, I think a lot of people I was speaking to as well said it's going to be Spurs. They're going to fix it to be Spurs over 2 legs.
I wanted Spurs.
I don't know if I did.
I wanted Spurs.
But then you'd want Spurs. You'd have Spurs that week, let's say the 8th, and then the following week on the Wednesday you play them again.
I guess so, but listen,
back-to-back home.
You know what it is, right? When I saw Spurs play tonight, I'm like, over 2 legs, I fancy us against Tottenham, right? I fancy us against Tottenham. But listen, it's Newcastle.
Yeah, and
that's the next best team you could have got, I guess.
I'm happy
you know what I mean? Because you want to avoid Liverpool until hopefully praying we get to a final.
Yeah. I mean, listen, one thing about the Spurs, if we played them back to back, I think we played Southampton back to back in the cup, and we got knocked out in the cup, but we beat them then in the league the following week. I don't like that.
Listen, we got Palace back to back. Remember we just played Palace.
We haven't played them yet.
And we're playing them on the weekend. I know, but we've got them back to back. I mean, listen, for me,
Newcastle, we got a bit of Newcastle. Listen, St James's Park. Let's be real.
But the first leg is at the Emirates, and that's going to be an important game because I think what we've seen with Newcastle over the last couple of seasons that we've played them is that they haven't really come to attack. They've been very, very defensive at home. They got their goal, and then they just sat back and said, break us down.
A few times at their place.
Right, but this could be different. If we could get that first game against them, get a big win, win by a couple of goals, all of a sudden that puts them in on a lot of pressure in that away leg. That means that they really got to have a go. They've got to go for it a bit more, and that might draw them out more. So I think the first leg being at the Emirates might not be the worst thing.
It favours us, especially when you've got United on the weekend.
Especially when we've got United on the weekend, and that's at home as well. So those are 2 home games, and that's always significant when you've got those sort of big games.
If they were both away, Rob, there'd be a problem.
When you look to the second leg now, The second leg
February
comes
3rd.
week commencing February the 3rd. That's going to be sandwiched in between a game against Manchester City at home
Is that
at the
on a Saturday
Emirates.
or Sunday? Has it been confirmed yet?
At the moment, yeah, it's been confirmed for Sunday, the 2nd of February, 4:30 kickoff. So Manchester City, and then the next game after that is we take on Leicester City on the 15th of February. So big gap to that. So we could conceivably really go for both games. You know,
gonna have
play
to.
a strong team in both.
Gonna have to.
Obviously, play a strong team against City and go really strong. It's a semi-final. It's a chance to get into a final.
Second leg as well. You have to.
Yeah,
go
you've
strong.
got to go for it.
But
But at least there's not going to be a game that weekend, right?
Yeah.
I think, or would probably the game that weekend is going to be
What would it be?
probably another round of the FA Cup. That's probably what it is. It's probably another round of the
because I
FA
haven't got
Cup.
it in my diary now,
Because at the
yeah.
moment it's showing that the next game after that, Saturday the 15th of February.
It's the 8th and 9th. There's nothing there yet.
Yeah, I reckon that's another round in the FA Cup. So then it all comes down to who we draw.
of
But
games,
listen, that will be.
a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. A lot of games
games.
coming up for Arsenal. A lot of very, very important games. When you factor into the mix that in January we've got to go away to Girona. In the
in the
Champions League on the 29th of January, and we also play Dinamo Zagreb at home on Wednesday, the 22nd of January. I feel now that's very, very important that
When
we get through. That we got those victories in the Champions League, and we're looking like we could not top, but could get through in that top 8.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like I mentioned, you don't want them extra games. You don't, especially when you've got this many fixtures. I can't believe how many games are coming up. I'm trying to find when we play Newcastle at home in the league. Oh, 18th of May.
Yeah, so
Okay, so it's a long way. It's a long way
Yeah.
off. Okay, so you kind of want to get, you want to get the win over them. It's good that it's home first, but I'll be honest, I hate going to St James's Park. If I'm being real, it's such a long journey. But I need Arsenal to get over that hoodoo of just beating them at their place.
Yeah.
Like, it's so frustrating, and I know they're going to be up for it. You know what the Newcastle fans are.
Yeah, well,
the Geordies,
listen,
but
it's the first leg's at the Emirates. For me,
gotta get
go there,
comfortable.
win that first leg, win it
Clean
by a
sheet.
couple of goals, clean sheet, and then go up there. And then, as I said, now they're forced to come out because the last couple of seasons, even though they've scored and they've just locked it down after that and they've just settled for the 1-0, we've got to make it so when we take them back to their place, we're going up there with a lead, which then changes the dynamics of what Newcastle are going to do in that game. But I ain't going to lie, I fancy Spurs. I fancy Spurs, man, because to me, Spurs over
It looks
2
bad,
legs.
but still, it's North London derby over 2 legs, Rob. I don't know. It could have
I
been.
guess for Tottenham, they're probably going to look on it and think they've got the hardest possible.
Yeah, they got Liverpool, and
They've got
hopefully,
Liverpool.
and if they get through, I don't think they'll overcome them. Touch wood. But then, yeah, if they get, I expect
Thing
Liverpool
is,
to knock
yeah,
them out. They don't get into a final. It's good.
Thing is about his League Cup, it's over 2 legs, so you've really got to go some in it. You know what I mean? So I
gotta
think
give
haven't they got Liverpool this week as well? So
Yeah, they got.
yeah,
A tough
so they're
run.
going to be playing Liverpool a few
Who
times.
knows? Who knows? In February, in the second leg, we might have a new striker.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
where as well, right? You could look on it and say that it favours Newcastle, right? Is that when we play that? Actually, when am I looking at? Yeah, when we play that first week. Oh no, we're not playing Tottenham anyway. That's what I was thinking. Tottenham.
No, we're not. Who are they? No, they're not in the. Yeah, they're not.
Favours
in the top
Tottenham when we're playing them in the league because they got Tamworth on the weekend.
either. Yeah, see,
Right,
yeah.
we've got Man United.
I'm quite glad. I'll be honest. I'm quite glad because I know Lee said in his fan cam he didn't want Tottenham. We should just want them out, and I get that. But I wanted to, at first. I thought I liked the idea of it, but
I fancy Spurs. After watching them play tonight, I fancy
with the
them.
games that went back to back, I'd rather just Liverpool deal with them. And Liverpool, Arsenal, I shouldn't jump ahead, but if it gets to it...
You are jumping ahead.
No, stop. I'm not. But if it does get to it, that'll be a tough final. It'll be a tough
It
final.
will be. Listen, I think right now, whichever way it runs, it's a tough game. Newcastle's not going to be easy, but Arsenal got the pedigree to do them over the 2
and
legs.
also, quickly as well, Liverpool, try not to jump ahead, but I'm just saying, if we do overcome Newcastle, Liverpool's fixture congestion will be similar to ours. They're in the Champions League. They'll be in the top. They will have all that pressure as well. They'll be obviously chasing for the title. So it'll be a. I think it's worked out. I'm happy.
Okay, so let's just remind everybody again. So it's week commencing the 6th of January. Arsenal taking on Newcastle. First leg to be played at the Emirates. Just before that, we go away to Brighton on the 4th of January. Then on the 12th of January, we're at home to Manchester United in the FA Cup, right? So 2 home games, one against Newcastle, one against Manchester United. The good news is they're both at home. We then followed that up with Wednesday the 15th, where we're at home against Tottenham. And then after that, we're actually at home against Aston Villa. So, you know, and actually looking at that month, 22nd of January, we take on Dinamo Zagreb. We go away to Wolves on the 25th. Then on the 29th, again, Girona away. Lots and lots of games coming up in January. Then when we get into February, we're going to be taking on Man City on the 2nd of February. Then during that week, the next leg away at St James's Park. And then on that weekend, an FA Cup fixture, I think it is. And then the week after, Leicester City away. So if you're going to be in these competitions, if you're going to try and win them, you're going to have hard fixtures. You're going to have fixture congestions. Hopefully, we can get a lot of players back and get the squad back in shape. But yeah, that's what is coming up. Arsenal in the Carabao Cup have drawn Newcastle, and it's going to be Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. That is what it's going to be.
Semi-finals, man.
Semi-finals, chance for Arsenal to go to a final. You'd have to say, looking at that, the 2 favourites to make it to the final are obviously going to be Arsenal and Liverpool. We've avoided Liverpool. I think that's a good thing.
Do you have any little buzz right now? Like it's a cup. I know you keep saying people they put down the Carabao Cup, but it's like a semi-final.
Listen, it's a chance to, you know, it's a chance to get to a final. And now these, like, the teams that are left in it are all big teams, you know what I mean? Apart from Spurs, you know what I mean? So I'm only joking, right? So so it's going to be really, really interesting.
Good,
so
I'm excited. I'm happy, man.
Okay. Listen, by the way, people, don't forget, check out all of our brilliant content from over here in Sierra Leone. We're absolutely loving it today. The welcome we got when we hit Freetown, oh my God, it was absolutely unbelievable. The Arsenal fans in this country, Sierra Leone, is absolutely off the scale. And we've got a big watch party coming up on Saturday. So we're going to be watching a game with Sierra Leonean fans right here in Freetown. Of course, we're going to be at the game as well. So don't forget to check out Turkish, Laurie, all them guys are going to be at the game, interviewing fans, Lee, they're all going to be there. And of course, we've got a big watch along going on in the studio. So we've got you covered, whether in the UK or whether here in Sierra Leone, we got you completely covered. So make sure you check out all of that great content. But yeah.
Time to get some rest, man. God, look at
another trip to Newcastle, bro.
They're here for the love of the game. What's your views every game? Right